You know what? There's just some cars that you see. For me, like when I see something on Instagram, there's something that clicks right away where I'm like, I have to somehow feature this vehicle / boat. And that's exactly what this is.
And I'm honored.
I don't really know where to begin because it's just so insane. And this goes back to the fact, I always say, like, I always get surprised. No matter what, there's just so much to shoot, and it's impossible to shoot all of it. And people just get so creative. So we're at Hyperfest at VIR, and I just see this boat running around. What?
Yeah.
What the? I don't even know where to begin. Plus, you have a matching jet ski.
I mean, what other pit bike would be, you know, the best for it?
What other boat has tire dings on it? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, I think that was a Luke Fink one.
So then, what was your thought? Why did you want to do this?
All right, so our local track, Drift Evergreen in PA, they do like a Halloween event. So Halloween event where you can decorate your car and you can win a season pass for the next year. So it's worth a little effort, you know, to put into it, and always creative, doing weird things. And I just one night was like, what if I put a boat on the car?
This is not a little effort. This is
no, the original
maximum
one was.
amount of effort.
The original one took me 2 days to build. So this is now evolved and has become my life. So originally it was a 330 convertible, and I literally just took a boat, got it for free on Marketplace, and drove it home, drove it underneath the swing set at my house, sawzalled the bottom of the boat, ratchet strapped it to the swing set, drove the trailer with the rest of the boat out from underneath it, drove the car underneath, ratchet strapped it down, said, this is gonna work.
Swing as in like playground swing?
Yeah, playground swing set. Like we had a decent one built, like not like a kind of rickety one. So it's a big like 3-layer 2x6 beam. So I just drove it underneath that, ratchet strapped it up, and then drove the car under, went, this will work. And then that was day one. Day two was making metal mounts and screwing some wood to it. That was it. So that was the original. It was supposed to be a joke for a weekend. It was gonna be just for that Halloween event. We're a year and a half later. I've rebuilt the car on a whole new chassis.
Is this the same boat then?
Same boat, different car.
Okay. So this time when you rebuilt it, you purpose built the car.
I went full commit to be a boat on this one. So the last one had the boat windshield and the car windshield. So, you know, you kind of had that weird look there. This one I fully decided, start with a 4-door. I want to make it a party boat. I want to take people around, you know, have fun with it. The windshield got moved back 4 inches so that it actually sat over top of where the dash would be. And then we decided full cage with some of the lines to kind of mimic like bikini top. You kind of get that triangular, and then paint it silver just like you would for bikini top or bimini top. And yeah, like this one, gutted the doors. Like the last car is back on the street as a regular car. So the doors are in there, but gutted just to be as light as possible.
Wait, there's doors underneath
it, yeah.
For structural rigidity or?
Partial structural, and also just for in case I do get in a big accident in the side. Yes, there's a whole boat, but like if I'm taking people for ride-alongs, I just want to be safe.
Right.
So that's the same reason.
Of course. Well, I mean,
that's the same reason there's like, you know, 2 AC or 2 fire extinguisher units in it, you know, stuff like that. I just wanted to be, you know, think about everyone's safety. So even as ridiculous as it is.
This is the most ridiculous drift car I've ever seen.
It gets a lot of looks everywhere I go.
You know, it's one thing to make this a car, which would be crazy already, that drives on the street.
And I've seen a few of those, you know.
Yeah.
I think I'm the only unique person to drive it this hard.
But this just looks so right. So it's named Jenny. I love that so much. Forrest Gump fans, you know, I'm a big Forrest Gump fan. Love that it's called Jenny. Jenny! Love the livery so much.
It just fit perfect.
And then is this original?
Those are original boat motors to be PA, you know, legal on the water.
And then all of this is original boat stuff?
Yep. Yeah, like, you know, the rub rail, everything.
But
like,
then this is original.
that's original
boat?
boat, because usually you would have seats up here, you know, so the windshield opens and you would be able to come up here and you'd be able to put like 4 or 5 people in the front. It had the typical, you know, the seats facing forward to steer with the seats on the back of that, and then 2 seats like molded into the engine cover on the back side.
This honestly couldn't have been a better size. This is like the perfect size.
Oh, it was, you know, I couldn't have planned it better.
So then
It's big, but it fits underneath, like, and in terms of drifting, full lock, like the front wheels just touch the inside of the boat.
really,
So like there's some tire marks on the inside, but it just kind of pushes it away a little bit.
to save weight on the E46 four-door chassis,
Yep.
did you cut out like everything?
A lot of things. So like I said, I gutted the doors, the rear trunk area was kind of cut and like taken out. So I weighed the caged car with 2 seats in it, and it was like 2,400 pounds. That was before putting the boat on it. I weighed the boat separate, and it was like 680. There was still a lot of final touches to do. Like, I didn't weigh it with the wood on it or any of that. So the original car, I think, was 4,200 pounds, and it made 190 horsepower. This one, my estimate is 3,500 pounds, and it should make 350 because this one's turboed now.
It looks like it's 6,000 pounds.
It looks big and heavy, but it's definitely under 4,000 pounds now. It's probably close to stock E46 weight.
But then when you have 4 full-size passengers,
Then
in
we're
there.
probably back over 4,000 pounds, yeah.
So then, okay, how much horsepower does it make?
350.
And then what
So-
is the motor setup?
It's
here?
stock BMW E46 stuff, so it's technically an M52 TU, which is very close to M54. It's what came stock in them. So it's a inline 6, 2.5 liter, and then I'm running a Forced Performance GT3582 turbo on it.
So then, to open the hood, you have to unscrew this wood panel?
So we had it off, and it's actually these bolts, and there's 5 of them. Again, everything on the car is about 90% done. I had 2 or 3 sleepless nights this week to get here. So, end goal, the hood will be on hinges just like the trunk is. It'll have like a hood pin in the front. The bottom side of the wood is gonna get clad in aluminum so that it's safe, you know, we're not have fire issues.
Right. How much does that weigh? A lot?
It's not terrible. Maybe 30 pounds.
Whoa. Wait, you still have the stock fenders on too?
Yeah, that was more just to keep debris out from inside the boat and coming in through the doors or anything.
Because
It's one of those, fenders weigh what, 10 pounds?
right.
You know.
Got it.
If I was a real race car and like really looking for every pound, yeah, they would have come off.
Interesting. It's cool. The bash bar where it mounts, it ties to the shock tower too.
Yep.
Huh?
I needed something to keep it. So last year, I actually bent this bar. I don't know if you saw any of the videos from last year. I did the burnout pit, and I put it against a K-rail, which I had the 2 windshields in it, and the mounts for mounting the boat windshield, it pushed the boat back enough that it went into the windshield of the car.
No.
So I didn't notice it until the next morning, you know, adrenaline's running, and you're like, oh, this was amazing. And then, yeah, it was one of those next morning, you're like, I moved it back a bit. So it had a little banana bow in it, so I had to
Right.
redo that this year, but
So then that's why you put this
that was part
other
of it,
mounting
yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Whoa, you could see the fiberglass.
Yeah.
Like, so this is the headlight,
That's headlights that I still need to wire in.
and then is this original boat? wood?
That's original part of the boat. That was kind of part of where the front seats were sitting.
Ah. Wait, it even has the plate, or is that a VIN plate for the boat, or
Yes.
serial number?
Yep. Yeah, original Johnson Motors Surfer 2.
Yeah, are
Pretty
they
sure
still
it's
around?
No. I mean, they have Johnson Motors,
Right.
but they don't make boats anymore
Oh,
that I
okay.
know of. Like I said, this is my first boat, so I'm not super...
But
I
like,
still want to do some of the wiring in like this, like, because this still moves up as your, you know, buoy light. And then there's the red and green down below that I still want to...
so you could get this working.
I think so.
Yeah.
The wiring is still here going to it, so
Right.
just needs a little work to finish up some details. And
It's so neat. It's amazing how stock this is.
right. Like there was no full custom frame. It was really just cut apart in E46 until the boat fit right.
Right. So then you did have to cut the top of the fender here a little bit.
Correct. And the doors, so the belt line on the BMW kind of went up. So the front of the door probably got, it started at like 1/8 of an inch, and then I probably cut 2 inches out of the rear quarters in terms of height, just to get it to sit as level.
So does it touch at all? Or this just touches here?
Correct. So it's this mount, which is the pivot, that one for the windshield, and then the one in the back. And those are pretty much the only way it's mounted.
Oh wait, is this separate to the boat, or is this?
No, that's attached to the boat.
Oh, okay.
So the windshield and this are attached to the boat, and then the wood decking in the middle is attached to the car.
Ah.
So the only things that lift up when you do the tire change are like the front hood comes with it and the rear trunk lid comes with it.
Got it. This still stays.
That still stays down, and then the boat just slides up next to it.
The cage tolerance here is pretty close too.
That was our first real cage. Like, I've done a couple roll hoops in that, but I did the measuring, bending, notching, and then one of the buddies, he's the welder. So we had to, like I said, the windshield used to be here. So to move it back so that I could get some form of A-pillar bar, because otherwise it would have ended up in the middle of no man's land.
Is it like crazy wind noise when you're driving this on the street?
No, I mean, nothing other than a normal convertible.
Right. So then what are the structural points it gets to actually meet the car?
Bash bars, front and rear bash bars.
Oh.
So, like I said, one of the easy ones to show is in the trunk.
Whoa.
So like this big bar mounts to where the bumper would, and it comes up and sits here. And then those 2 bolts there and 2 bolts on that side.
Is that like the structural part of the boat then?
Yeah, these are, so like the back side of this is all 3/4 plywood and it's all fiberglassed in.
Oh.
And then, so that's also how I change tires. Those 4 bolts come off, and the front mount is actually a pivot point. And then this is just a trailer jack mounted upside down. And I just cut the handle off, put a nut on it. And so you hit it with the impact and it lifts the back of the boat, kind of like a funny car, just backwards.
So then,
so it lifts.
because the whole point of this is it's so low that you don't see the tires at all.
So it makes working on it a little harder, but it's honestly, it adds a couple extra steps, but it's not terrible as a tire change. You still got to put it up in there with a, jack, and then you just hit it with the impact on that. It lifts the boat, kind of like old school cars that had the fender flares, the skirts. It's kind of like that. You get it high enough, you pull the wheel out and down, and swap a tire.
So then you have a plate on here.
It is mostly street legal. I haven't put some of the stuff back on it on this new chassis yet, but it will be back to street legal.
You actually drive this on the street in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, I drove it to FD Jersey last year. It's a 2.5-hour drive. Thursday morning, getting down there for beginning of it and just cruising, and then Saturday or Sunday or whatever, Saturday night coming home, same, just cruising. I drive it to work every once in a while.
So let's talk about the dress-up parts here, right? So you added, is that a real propeller?
That is the original propeller off of the boat. Clearly not the original positioning, and it's been beat a bit.
Yeah.
I have new ideas, so the exhaust up front out the hood is not the end all. That was just time.
Uh-huh.
I want to run the exhaust all the way back.
No way.
And I'm debating, so these are the original exhaust, tips for the boat. I either want to come through here, or I want to mount them right behind where the propeller is and mount the propeller on a bearing and let it spin. And then once we get the tune set right and get a little flame out of it, you can have some flame coming out around the propeller. I think that's the way I'm going to go.
You're thinking so far, and I love it so much.
There's so many ideas.
You're making everybody so happy that you're going this far with this build.
Might as well.
What's up with the Mustang taillights?
It was just one of those. I needed taillights and trying to figure out something that looked good.
And it matches this?
So that was the thing. It was one of those, it's like, oh man, I need headlights and taillights on it to make it street legal. Most people would just go buy like a trailer light, like the round ones or the oval ones. I just sat on Summit and scrolled through reproduction taillights and went, these look about right.
I mean, all this hardware.
Yep, all stainless.
I love this. You know, the flags are hilarious to me.
They look great at night, you know, night shots drifting.
So cool. Did you paint this?
I painted the Jenny on. I almost vinyled it, and I was like, why am I, like, this is gonna be a joke for a weekend, what does it matter? And I just grabbed the paint can just like he did in the movie.
It's perfect.
And just used a lowercase e real big, same way. Like I looked at the pictures and I'm like, looks about right, you know, and just freehanded it.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. All right, so let's talk about the interior. Love the seats. These could not have been any more perfect.
I know. The Prisma seats were amazing. I'm so happy they came on board.
Wait, did that come after or before your livery?
They came before the livery. The idea was there, and I had the vinyl already at home. Like, I just happened to have these colors and went, these are gonna work really well with the teal, the white, you know.
It's perfect.
Right,
it's
I can't.
Perfect.
They just came out with a seat that is the Jazz, but it's in the Jazz colors.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm not changing colors.
Yeah.
I was like, this is it.
No, this is boat.
Yep.
Like, this is what an interior of a boat would be.
And then I went with orange harnesses for your life vests.
Wait a minute. Yeah, I love that. So then you're telling me you could buy this from them for another car? It wasn't meant for this?
No, like, it was meant for this.
Oh, okay.
It was.
Okay. Got it.
But I had them before I put the livery on.
Got it.
Because originally it was just a teal and white boat.
So then, what's behind the seats right here? Is that the car? Like, I'm actually looking at the car?
Yeah, so like this is all, you know, that was all part of the car. Like the B pillar, you can see on the other side is still there next to the, like behind the seat there. That's original B pillar.
Yeah. It's a little bit, you could just barely see it.
All I did was take this white FRP panel, which is usually for like bathrooms.
Yep.
And I mounted that to the lip where the door closes into, and it just cleaned it up a lot nicer.
It looks so clean. And then
there's still a door under there, you know.
What about the dash? It's just
that's a JEGS, you know, factory or universal aluminum dash.
And then this is part of the boat here. All of this stuff.
Yeah, that moves with the boat. Again, that's one of those, still needs to be painted.
The windshield is hilarious.
Yeah.
It has rock chips, I bet. Huh?
It's got to by now.
For a boat. I love that you put the Hyperfest windshield banner on here.
It was a little short. They don't make them wide enough for a boat.
Yeah.
And then I had to cut it 19 different times to, you know, not make it look weird.
So then what transmission does it have?
So it's currently blown up. I don't know if they said that to you.
Yeah,
so I blew second gear. It has a get drag in it, which I knew was the weak point. I have a ZF at home for it. It was just timing. I didn't get time to put it together. So it'll get a ZF stock BMW trans.
The hydro setup, it looks like you dressed it up a little bit.
So
to kind of make it look like a...
The blue and the both blue pieces are from YDC. It's a Ukraine company. And so all of that came from them as is. But then the silver piece around the hydro, that's the original boat throttle. I tried to use as many original pieces as I could. There was a really awesome squared off dash with 2 or 3 gauges in it, which is what I was gonna mount, until I realized that the way it mounts on the boat, it was an inch offset, so it would have sit crooked. And this was the quickest, easiest way to run the stock E46 dash, took a piece of aluminum, bent it, welded it on quick, and I at least had gauges.
It's funny to me that the only giveaway that's an E46s are the gauges.
Yep.
And
if you know
I guess
them well
maybe
enough.
if you knew what this was.
Yep.
But love the steering wheel, custom steering wheel with the shrimp boat stuff.
Yep. Yeah, Grip Royal helped me out with that one.
Runs holes, not doors. Love this so much.
It's the perfect piece, and that wood style and a compass.
Love the compass. Ugh.
The original boat mirror, I mounted that in. That was on the boat from the 60s.
I get blown away all the time, but this is a next level.
Sometimes it's the little details.
How is it that you are able to pass tech though?
So when I built this cage, I talked to Ben with US Drift a whole bunch to make sure it sat where it needed to be, because FD cage stuff, you can do the front. They don't make anything for the rear. So from there, it was just kind of it's going to be as strong and as simple and follow the same principles as it would.
It is a little tight on this
It's a little
side.
tight. If you move the cushions, you can kind of,
Right.
squeeze your way in a little better.
Got it.
If I was smarter, I would have started with a bigger chassis, but it was already fit for an E46, so I just started with an E46 four-door.
I think it's great.
It works
I think
amazing.
It's perfect. Wow. So then how do you move it?
What was
It's
that?
so big. How do you move it around?
What do you, like, I mean, I just drive it. Or
Wait, you...
So I have
how
a
are you gonna
trailer.
get oh, okay, you have a trailer.
So I have a trailer. Honestly, the trailer's a little small. It's only a 16-foot trailer, and it's a 20-foot boat. But the width, I'm an inch and a half on, like, each fender. So, like, we just line it up, and it fits on the trailer. I had to modify, I had a tire rack on the trailer. I had to modify that to fit the hips of the boat so that it actually,
It's so funny to me because you can still trick people.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you if
Like,
it's
when you're at
sitting here-
gas stations and it's on a trailer, you're like, it looks like a boat on a trailer, but there's something wrong because it's not the right style trailer, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, we get that a lot. And, they see a cage in a boat, too. They're like, that's not normal.
So then this is the original paint.
Yep, yeah. So it definitely needs a little work. It's a little beat up here and there. Could use some fiberglass and kind of a redo, but
Right.
For now,
adds to the character of this.
for
stuff.
now, it's great.
It's so good. I can't believe. I'm so glad that Hyperfest allowed you to come here and drive.
I haven't been turned away from any events yet, so
It's such a novelty, though,
I
especially
know.
these festival events. They're trying to draw a crowd and also put on a show.
Yep.
Because it's very low. It's like low stress.
Yep.
Right. There's no pressure for anybody to perform. If you're just out there sliding corners, it just makes everybody laugh.
It's fun, yeah. We had 4 people in here out on Patriot yesterday, and that was the first time having 4 in it, and that's what I built it for, to be a party boat now.
I'm so bummed that I didn't get a chase with you. I'm so bummed.
That would've
I'm
been
so
great.
sorry. Next time,
We'll find a time.
I promise. Next time I see
We'll
you,
find a time somewhere.
and I have a car, I'm gonna go out of my way to get a chase in.
Yeah.
Because it would have been so cool to see you just putting around out there.
It's unique, especially, being behind it, because it is an E46, so the wheels are still, way up here.
So it swings like crazy.
It swings quick because you have so much overhang over the rear axle. So, I've heard from guys tandeming with me, they're like, it's kind of hard because you got to get in the pocket to be able to get the door mark, but then you got to drop out pretty early because when you start transitioning, it transitions quick, and then you can kind of dive back into it.
So then, how does it drive then? Just like our E46?
Yeah, I mean, in those characteristics, you can definitely feel the weight, and it's heavier, and dealing with that. Like last year's car, this is the first event I've had it turboed. Last year it was still just stock power, 190 horsepower, and it was full commit everywhere. Put the tire pressures up and just go for it. But yeah, I mean, a lot of places have been, it cruises. It just floats. A lot of people say that it's just smooth, and I keep the car fairly loose because it doesn't need to be gripped up. So keep it loose and it just kind of glides and floats. And
so then, what's the width tire that you're running on it?
This year I'm running a 235, so nothing crazy.
235 squared.
Yeah, I have a 215 up front.
Okay.
Just for room
Clearance.
trying to get more clearance on the angle.
What kind of coilovers do you have on this boat?
They're BCs, custom spec'd for a boat, because we were figuring the weight was going to be high, so we kind of, upped the spring rates a bit.
Do you have to modify your driving at all to keep away from curbs or?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. It's one of those you kind of got to recalibrate your brain a little bit and see where things are.
Because realistically, it has almost no clearance at all. I feel like if you ran over a curb, it would hit the boat.
Right. I mean, for the most part, it's been, it runs pretty well. We went off track yesterday pretty bad and hit one of the, we skimmed across a ditch, and that one hurt, but It takes it pretty well. Like I said, the fiberglass is way thicker than I thought, you know. I was never a big boat person. I never had a boat. This is the only boat I've ever had. So it was a learning curve in terms of, you know, boat things.
Right.
And no, it's pretty solid. It's taken a few hits where, you know, things came through, but it's good.
So let's just quickly touch on your jet ski here.
Right. The next...
Well, you built this too?
Yep. So the boat was first, and I've had the jet ski for like 15 years. We used it for one summer in a farmer's pond. It was one of those, you're young, you're sitting there, a couple buddies going, this is big enough for a jet ski. So we went out and bought one for $300. And then we used it, had a great summer, and broke it at the end of the summer. And then we didn't have access to the pond the next year. So it sat in a buddy's warehouse for over 10 years. And then when the boat happened, I was like, I gotta get that thing out and make one of these. And it took me, like I thought about doing one of these for years before the boat, but I could never find the right scooter for underneath it because I wanted something that would move. So I finally found a Honda Helix 250. So it'll do 70 still. This one I have not had back on the road as street legal yet. I'm still wiring in headlights, turn signals, all of that, but that's, you know, the goal.
The best would be both of these together.
I know, just cruising down the highway.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have a couple pictures from last year of them cruising just around here, just around Hyperfest. We went and did some pictures. So that was one of those, just those together getting pictures that got sent to us. They look amazing.
Unbelievable.
And then seeing the rig run down the road is impressive because my trailer's too small to put the jet ski on it. So the jet ski goes on a motorcycle rack on the front of the motorhome. So as you're passing it in traffic, you come up on a boat that looks kind of weird, being towed by a 70s motorhome, and then you get to the front and all of a sudden you're like, there's a jet ski on the front of that? So you get a lot of looks when you're sitting there cruising down the road.
So good. I love it so much. Thank you so much for bringing it. Thanks for walking us through it.
Oh, absolutely.
This just makes me so happy.
And that's what she's here for.
I love it. I love it.
Have fun, not be serious, bring smiles to faces.
Yeah. So then after this, you're gonna just do you have to take the boat off to do big maintenance?
Depending on what it is. I haven't had to do anything, like I haven't had any front end issues where like, I don't know if I can get the wheels off with the boat on.
Oh,
I don't
front.
know. Yeah, the front, I have no idea. I haven't had to do it yet. I've been lucky in that aspect, but it also helps, like, you're not going to bend a tie rod, you know, getting into somebody because there's a door in the way, or a hull in the way. So
Right.
I'll be able to do the trans and the diff, I think, with the boat still on it.
So you cut it on the bottom, but then like, did you have to finish the edge or anything at all?
No, that's still like the roundover, you know, from the original boat. So it was a tri-hull design. So it kind of gives a sharper edge on it and like rolls over. And then it came up into that middle, you know, hull.
It honestly could not have been a better boat, I feel.
No, it couldn't have.
I mean, because just a normal one that's not a tri-hull might not look as good and might not work as well.
If you look at, like, yeah, there's others out there. There's other boat cars. And, I mean, I personally don't like any of them that used a regular V-hull because you end up seeing the front wheels, which would give me more room for drifting, but
Just doesn't look right. Yeah.
This just looks like it's floating.
Right.
It just cruises. You don't see tires. It's perfect.
So cool.
And then, like I said, I mean, width and everything like that, you know, getting the full angle on the kit that is in there, I probably couldn't have designed it better. It was just one of those that fell together. It's the same with the jet ski. Like, little details, like, this is the stock location for the radiator on the jet ski.
Whoa.
And that's a vent that was already there. Like, all I had to do was cut some mounts off that held the mirrors and like stuff like that, and that fit there. So I got real lucky in a lot of little things that just came together. They fell together.
Have you gotten pulled over in this?
No, I don't know how yet.
And you pass cops all the time?
Yeah.
And they're like,
They just, I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking, but it's plated, registered, insured, you know, it had taillights, headlights, mirrors, all that stuff. So like it has everything required there. The last car, I got it inspected the day before the boat went on it. So I had a year of at least inspected. I'm gonna actually go through inspection and get it done on this one. But
With
I gotta,
the boat on it.
Yeah, I gotta put like wipers on it or something somehow. So there's a couple little things. I'll find my way through. But yeah, I've passed cops in PA and Jersey, and I swore on the way to Formula Drift I was gonna get pulled over. Like there was a cop behind me, and we're in the outside lane doing 70, and it's like see a cop and car behind me moves over. I see him, and like I move over, turning GoPros on because it's like, we'll get a video out of this.
Yeah.
Nothing. He just cruises on past me. I'm like, really? So
He's
I don't know.
probably thinking like, you know what? Not my problem.
Right. I don't want to do this paperwork this morning.
Not today.
So yeah, I haven't been pulled over
try.
yet. I don't know how.
Huh.
It'll happen one day.
It's gonna be hilarious.
Right.
Yeah.
It'll be a great time.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much. This is exactly why I love coming to these festivals. I always get surprised. I love it.
They're
so
a great
much.
time. Yeah, I love coming down here. Got to make it out to a few more stuff this year.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Nice to meet you.
You too.